Chosen one, stop for a moment. Heaven itself has paused everything around you to speak directly into your soul. You are not here by coincidence. This message has been written across eternity for you, for this precise moment. The breath in your lungs, the beat of your heart, the stirring you cannot explain, all of it aligns with something divine that is unfolding. Heaven has set its gaze upon you. And December the 2nd is the moment when obedience will unlock what delay has tried to bury. You have been sensing something in the air, a holy unease, a pull towards something greater. The world has grown noisier, yet inside you there is a whisper. Pay attention. That whisper is not fear. It is heaven's reminder that your name is known, your purpose is written, and your steps are being counted toward destiny. God is not silent. He is speaking, even now, through these words, through the trembling in your spirit, through the sense that time is no longer ordinary. Listen carefully. Chosen one, when heaven speaks, it does not stutter. You are being summoned into alignment. The atmosphere around you has been shifting because the plans of darkness have noticed what heaven is about to release. The warfare has been heavy because your calling is weighty. Every tear, every rejection, every delay has been preparing you for the hour that is about to arrive. The Spirit of God is declaring that December 2nd is not just a date on the calendar. It is a divine intersection. A doorway in time will open, and only those who are alert will step through it. There is a heavenly countdown, an invisible clock ticking in the spiritual realm. The ones who are distracted, weary, or entangled in doubt will miss it. But those who stand ready in faith, those who heed the warning, will witness a sudden acceleration that others will call luck. But you will know it was obedience. You must understand this: heaven's instructions often arrive wrapped in simplicity. It may come as a quiet urge to forgive someone, a gentle push to release what you've been clinging to, or the courage to begin again. Don't ignore those nudges. They are divine signals leading you into alignment. Every small act of obedience before December 2nd will determine the size of your breakthrough when that day comes. And do not think it strange that you have been feeling isolated. Many of God's chosen have walked this lonely road before their elevation. The reason heaven has pulled you away from certain people and patterns is because you cannot carry old energy into new territory. You are being refined, not rejected. You are being prepared, not punished. Look around you, see how certain doors have closed abruptly. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Heaven is guarding you from counterfeit opportunities so you won't waste the strength meant for your true assignment. December 2nd will reveal why those no's were necessary. The clarity that's been missing will suddenly flood your spirit like sunrise after a long night. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. These words are not a suggestion, they are a divine command. Stillness is not weakness, it is warfare. When you quiet the noise, you allow God to position you for instruction. Do not rush, do not panic. Be still, and you will hear what others cannot. You may ask, why December 2nd? Because heaven measures time differently from earth. What seems like another day on your calendar is an appointed moment in heaven's record. It's the day of decision, when obedience will either complete or cancel what God was about to release. Many have been crying out for breakthrough, yet few have been willing to wait, to listen, to obey. Don't be counted among those who almost received but forfeited at the threshold. Chosen one, this is your moment to respond. The message has found you for a reason. Don't scroll away like the rest. Don't treat this as entertainment. Heaven has interrupted your timeline to invite you into divine timing. This is not coincidence. This is intervention. Now, I want you to act in faith. If these words have stirred your spirit, do something that acknowledges your obedience. Like this message, share it so others may be awakened. And comment below the number 2 not as superstition, but as a prophetic act of agreement, symbolizing alignment and divine partnership. When you do, you're declaring, Lord, I'm ready for what you've prepared on December 2nd. Remember, this is not the end, it's the opening of a sacred countdown. Between now and December the 2nd, every prayer, every act of forgiveness, every quiet surrender will echo into eternity. Heaven has stopped time for you once, it won't do it twice. Be still, obey, and prepare to walk through the door others will miss because they hesitated. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are chosen. The prophetic clock keeps ticking. Chosen one. You may not see the hands move, but heaven does. The day that has been whispered through signs and stirred through your spirit is not a random moment, it is December 2nd. A date sealed in divine history long before your birth. God has already written what that day holds. In the unseen realm, preparations have been set in motion. Angels have been assigned. The alignment has already begun. But the outcome, whether the release or the ruin, depends on whether you are awake when it comes. You must understand something sacred about time. To most people, a date is merely a human measurement, a number passing by on a page. But to heaven, time is a gate. Certain days carry the fragrance of divine fulfillment. Others are battlegrounds where destiny is either born or broken. December the 2nd is one of those gates. The Spirit has been trying to get your attention through subtle moments, a dream that lingers, a random number you keep seeing, a verse that won't leave your mind. Those are not coincidences. They are heaven's way of confirming that you are standing at the threshold of something monumental. The ancient prophets often spoke in symbols and seasons. When God appointed a time for deliverance, He marked it clearly but revealed it only to those who sought His voice. You are one of those marked ones, set apart to hear what others dismiss. The reason your spirit cannot rest is because the date is drawing near. Every delay in your life, every unanswered prayer, every cycle that seemed endless is about to collide with divine timing. December the 2nd will not be like other days. It carries a spiritual frequency, a vibration heaven recognizes. It is the day of convergence, when what was spoken in secret begins to manifest openly. Many will live through it unaware, their hearts dulled by distraction. But not you. You have been awakened for a reason. The hand of God is resting upon you even now, preparing your heart for what is about to unfold. Do not underestimate the significance of divine timing. You can have the right promise but act in the wrong season, and everything collapses. Timing is the container that holds fulfillment. That is why the enemy has fought so fiercely to weary you, to make you doubt, delay, or detour, because he knows your appointed time is near. The closer you get to divine manifestation, the louder the noise of confusion becomes. Heaven wants you to see this truth clearly. Prophecy is not prediction, it is participation. God reveals a moment not just to inform you, but to invite you into it. December the 2nd is an invitation to stand where heaven and earth intersect. The decision you make in your heart between now and that day determines whether you will cross into fullness or remain circling the same mountain of delay. You might feel unprepared, perhaps even unworthy. But listen closely. Your worthiness was never the qualification. Your obedience is... God doesn't look for perfection, He looks for readiness. December the 2nd is not coming to test how holy you look. It is coming to reveal how aligned your heart truly is. Heaven measures the posture of surrender, not the polish of performance. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 1, Verse 5. Look among the nations and watch, be utterly astounded, for I will work a work in your days. These words echo through time, reminding you that heaven's moves often appear unbelievable until they manifest before your very eyes. God hides his wonders in the ordinary, so only those watching with spiritual eyes can recognize them. Some of what God will show you in these coming days will not make sense to your logic. It will seem too precise, too small, or even too strange, but follow it anyway. The path to promise rarely looks like the promise itself. Remember that when Noah built the ark, there was no rain. When Abraham packed for a land he'd never seen, there was no map. When Mary agreed to carry the Messiah, there was no guarantee of safety. Every destiny begins with one act of obedience that feels absurd to the natural mind. So if heaven asks you to prepare, to fast, to forgive, to sow, or to rest, do it. Don't question the instruction just because you cannot yet see its outcome. Faith is movement before manifestation. Obedience today ensures alignment tomorrow. This is why you must guard your atmosphere in these days leading to December 2nd. Limit the voices that drain your focus. Protect your time from distractions that steal your sensitivity. What you consume determines what you carry. The noise of the world can drown out the whisper of heaven if you are not careful. You are not waiting for coincidence, you are preparing for convergence. Chosen one, you have felt it deep within. A stirring that words cannot fully explain. It comes in quiet moments, in sudden waves of emotion, in dreams that seem to glow with a meaning just beyond your understanding. That's not anxiety. That's not coincidence. That is your spirit recognizing that something sacred is approaching. December the 2nd is pulling on your destiny, and heaven is sending signals that your soul can no longer ignore. Every shiver that runs through your body when you sense change, every thought that whispers, something is about to happen. It is heaven's language speaking in frequencies the world cannot translate. You are not imagining this season of tension. It is the atmosphere of transition. Whenever God is about to reveal purpose, he first awakens sensitivity. The divine always stirs before it speaks. Lately, you may have noticed moments where time feels strange, like everything slows for a second, or you sense that you've been here before. That's not déjà vu. That's recognition. Your spirit remembers what your mind has yet to recall. It remembers promises spoken over you long before you ever took your first breath. December the 2nd is tied to those ancient promises, and heaven is moving to fulfill what was once sealed in prophecy. You've been asking questions in silence. Why do I feel so restless? Why do things I used to enjoy suddenly feel empty? Because heaven is detaching you from distractions that cannot go where you're going. When a seed begins to grow, it must break the soil. Growth feels like breaking before it looks like blessing. The discomfort you're feeling is your breakthrough trying to breathe. Heaven is not ignoring your prayer. It's aligning your environment so you can receive the answer correctly. If God gave you the fulfillment before he refined your focus, you might mistake the gift for the giver. So instead, he allows a stirring. It shakes you loose from routine and reawakens your hunger for him. That hunger is the signal that heaven's timing is close. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. This scripture is not just comfort, it's confirmation. Heaven has a timeline for your life, and you are nearing the intersection where plans turn into presence. Think of your life as a symphony. On every hardship, every delay, every heartbreak was a note. On December 2nd, the conductor lifts his hand for the next movement. It will sound different. It will feel different. Heaven will take what once felt dissonant and reveal the melody it was building all along. That's why you must not give up before the shift. You are one obedience away from harmony. You may not realize it, but your sensitivity is proof of your selection. Not everyone feels these divine tremors because not everyone is chosen for this kind of assignment. You have always felt different. You see deeper. You sense earlier. You care harder. That's not weakness, it's evidence. The light inside you reacts to every movement in the spiritual atmosphere. And right now, that light is flickering brighter because the dawn is near. Still, the danger remains distraction. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the more the world will pull at your attention. People may misunderstand you. Opportunities may arise that seem good but lead you off path. You must guard your focus like it's sacred gold, because it is. Distraction is the enemy's favorite weapon against those who are about to cross into purpose. Chosen one. Let this message anchor you. Nothing that is meant for you will pass you by if you remain faithful. Heaven does not forget its appointments. The key is your awareness. When December 2nd comes, it won't announce itself with thunder. It will arrive like dawn, quiet, gradual, but undeniable. You'll know it by peace, not the absence of chaos, but the presence of clarity. Now pause for a moment. Place your hand over your heart and whisper the words that affirm what heaven already knows about you. Then, in faith, comment below these words, "I hear you." This is not a ritual, it's a response. When you type it, you're not speaking to me, you're declaring to heaven, "My spirit is awake, and I recognize your call." It's a prophetic act of awareness, a signal that you are not deaf to divine whispers. When your fingers move, you are aligning your earthly action with your spiritual hearing. December the 2nd will not surprise the alert. It will reward the attentive. So, remain still enough to feel the tremors, wise enough to discern the signs, and humble enough to obey when the instruction arrives. The stirring inside you is the rhythm of destiny calling you closer. Don't silence it. Let it lead you. The day is nearer than you think. Chosen one. There is a reason the enemy has fought your peace so aggressively. The warfare has never been random. It has always been about your timing. Hell fears divine alignment more than anything else. When your steps synchronize with heaven's rhythm, the plans of darkness lose all control. That is why confusion, exhaustion, and temptation often strike right before breakthrough. The enemy does not attack what he does not fear. You have to see this clearly. Every distraction that tried to derail you, every betrayal that tried to break you, every voice that tried to discourage you, they were all strategic. The enemy's goal was never simply to hurt you, it was to make you miss your moment. Because he knows what happens when a chosen one arrives in divine timing, the atmosphere changes. Chains break, generations shift, the unseen realm trembles. December the 2nd is not just a day, it is a battleground. Heaven's decree has already been spoken, and darkness cannot stop it. But it will do everything it can to distract you from hearing it. That's why the days leading up to your appointed moment often feel chaotic. The warfare isn't a sign that you're off track. It's proof that you're near something sacred. The storm always rages hardest near the shore. There's a pattern hidden in every major move of God. Before the Red Sea parted, Pharaoh increased the pressure. Before David wore a crown, Saul threw a spear. Before Jesus resurrected, the grave closed around him. Every spiritual elevation is preceded by a counterfeit collapse. The enemy uses pressure to convince you that the promise is dead, but heaven uses pressure to prove that the promise is alive. Heaven is exposing the strategy of the adversary in this hour to manipulate your perception of time. He will whisper, "You're too late," or "It will never happen," trying to make you forfeit before fulfillment. But remember, the enemy is not fighting your past, he is terrified of your future. Chosen one, understand this delay does not mean denial. You are in a refining process, not a forgotten place. Every delay you faced was a recalibration, not a rejection. The purpose of waiting was to build your discernment. Heaven did not want you walking into your appointed time with the same vulnerabilities that once caused you to stumble. The adversary's weapon is deception. He thrives in half-truths. He cannot stop what God ordained, but he can make you question it long enough to quit. That's why your faith must be guarded. Protect it like treasure. Guard your confession. Refuse to repeat words of defeat. Every time you declare what heaven has spoken instead of what fear suggests, you dismantle the enemy's illusion. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. These ancient words hold a present truth. You are not being asked to strive for victory. You are being invited to stand in victory. The battle is not yours, it is the Lord's. When you release control, you release divine power into motion. Look at your recent battles differently. What if the enemy's attack was actually heaven's alarm, signaling that the promise was near? Every confrontation has been a confirmation. The greater the resistance, the closer the release. The weight you felt in your chest, the spiritual fatigue, the unexpected waves of discouragement, they were all evidence that hell sensed your proximity to destiny. The enemy reacts violently when heaven moves silently. You've likely noticed people pulling away from you, opportunities closing without reason, or old habits losing their hold. Don't mourn those shifts. Celebrate them. Heaven often clears the atmosphere before it rains. Some relationships and patterns could not survive the next level. So God allowed a gentle separation now to prevent a painful collapse later. Trust His timing even when it feels like loss. If you could see what's being fought over in the spirit right now, you would not waste another moment doubting. The attacks have been personal because your assignment is powerful. Darkness doesn't waste energy on the ordinary, it reserves its full attention for the chosen. There will come a day when you look back at this warfare and realize it was the very thing that trained you for authority. The pain was preparation. The tears were evidence of transformation. Every sleepless night forged endurance that luxury could never teach. You are not a victim of battle. You are a vessel of victory being shaped by divine hands. So breathe. The fight is not forever. You are nearing the edge of fulfillment. Let your heart be still and your spirit remain anchored. Heaven has already decreed your triumph, and no demonic whisper can reverse it. When the day arrives, the noise will cease, and peace will take its rightful place. The enemy fears your awakening because once you remember who you are, he loses his power completely. Chosen one, before the dawn breaks. There is always a deeper darkness, the kind that tests your resolve and whispers that maybe you've misunderstood everything. This is that moment. The days before December 2nd are not meant to be easy. They are meant to prove you. The test before the turning always feels like the end. Yet in heaven's design, it is the final refining fire before the gold emerges. Imagine a seed buried in the earth. It feels pressure from all sides. It cannot see the sun, and everything around it is silent. But within that darkness, life is forming. The soil is not its grave, it's its womb. That's where you are now. Every weight pressing against you is actually positioning you for growth. Heaven has not buried you. Heaven has planted you. You've cried, "Lord, why does it hurt so much right before the promise?" Because the contraction always comes before the birth. The test is not to destroy you. It is to reveal the strength that was hidden in you all along. God does not test to shame. He tests to trust. He allows pressure so that when the release comes, you can carry it without it crushing you. Every sleepless night, every tear that found your pillow, every time you almost gave up, heaven has counted each one. The test is not about performance, it's about posture. Will you still believe when the miracle is invisible? Will you still worship when the promise seems distant? That's what heaven is watching for. As the apostle wrote in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." This scripture is more than a verse, it is a mirror reflecting your current reality. You are standing in the trial that qualifies you for the crown. Chosen one. Listen closely, you are not being punished, you are being proven. God has seen your faith in the quiet, your obedience when no one was watching, your refusal to retaliate when it would have been easier to fight back. You have passed tests that others failed silently. You've remained kind in seasons of cruelty. You've stayed faithful when it would have been easier to become bitter. Those choices have built the spiritual foundation for what's coming. But now, as the final test intensifies, heaven asks one thing of you: don't withdraw. Stay present. Stay believing. When everything in you wants to shut down, open your heart wider. When your hands feel empty, lift them anyway. When you can't see the light, be the light. And as this word finds you, if your spirit feels its truth, I invite you gently help keep this flame burning. Like this message, if it has stirred your faith, not for algorithm's sake, but as a sign that your spirit agrees. Share it with someone who may be standing in their own test, someone one decision away from quitting. You never know whose midnight you may be lighting. Subscribe if you haven't yet, not because of numbers, but because what heaven will reveal next will build upon this word. Each message is a brick. Together they form the altar God is constructing in your spirit. Stay connected so you do not miss the next divine instruction. And if you are moved, if your heart feels led, consider sowing into this space not out of obligation, but as an act of partnership. Every message here is like a torch carried into darkness, and your support becomes oil for that flame. When you give, you are not fueling a person, you are fueling a purpose. Even a small seed, when given in faith, echoes in eternity. Think of it like tending a lighthouse. Somewhere out there, another weary soul is drifting in fog, searching for direction. When you help sustain this light, you make sure it keeps shining, guiding the lost safely home. Every like, every share, every seed is a beam of light that pierces the storm. Do not underestimate the ripple your obedience creates. Heaven measures impact differently. The word you share today may rescue a life you'll never meet. The seed you sow may water a destiny you'll never see. But in God's economy, nothing given in faith is ever forgotten. And as you continue your journey toward December 2nd, remember the test is temporary, but the testimony will be eternal. When you finally step through that door, you'll understand why you had to walk through the fire. You'll see that the pain was not punishment, it was preparation. You'll wear peace like armor and authority like a crown. Until then, keep standing, keep believing, keep giving heaven your yes, even in the silence. You are closer to the fulfillment than you realize. And this test, this sacred, painful, beautiful test, is proof that heaven trusts you with more. Chosen one, The number you keep seeing is not coincidence. Heaven speaks in patterns, and when the same number appears again and again, it is not random, it is revelation. The number 2 has been circling your spirit like a quiet echo, but there is another number rising now, one that carries its own vibration of promise and power. It is 3, the number of divine completion, resurrection, and covenant. And as December 2nd draws near, heaven whispers the season of double preparation is shifting into triple manifestation. In the coming days, God is aligning you with what He has been forming in secret. The double symbolic of agreement was about readiness. The triple symbolic of heaven's seal is about release. You are stepping from waiting into becoming. Heaven has measured your endurance and now prepares to multiply your reward. The number 3 is sacred in heaven's language. It speaks of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, 3 expressions of one divine power. It speaks of Jesus rising on the 3rd day, of Peter denying 3 times yet restored in 3 questions, of the heavens opening after Elijah poured water 3 times on the altar. When heaven repeats a number, it repeats a message. I am finishing what I started, the Spirit declares. Prophetic alignment is not about mathematics, it is about meaning. When you see recurring numbers, you are glimpsing the architecture of eternity. God has written His voice into creation, and those who are awake can read it without sound. You are one of those who can feel when heaven shifts frequencies. That's why the number 3 has been pressing on your heart. It's heaven's way of saying completion is near, as Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 2, verse 19. Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. This scripture is not about architecture, it's about resurrection. God allows some things to fall apart so they can rise again properly aligned. Some relationships, some jobs, some patterns, what you thought was lost was actually reconstruction. Heaven was clearing away what couldn't hold the weight of your next level. There's a mystery in divine timing. Before completion comes dismantling. You've been watching certain things crumble, and it's tempted you to question if you've missed something. But look closer, heaven dismantles what man built on faulty foundations. God cannot bless what He did not design. So that when you see endings, don't mourn, interpret. Each ending is a beginning hidden in disguise. Chosen one. Heaven is inviting you into a new rhythm, a trifold movement of revelation, restoration, and release. Revelation, because your understanding of who you are is expanding. Restoration, because what was stolen emotionally or spiritually will be returned in greater measure. Release, because the things you've been carrying in silence are finally being lifted. You've been walking with weight. Yet you still move in obedience. That is why heaven trusts you. Not because you are perfect, but because you have remained available. Heaven can heal the broken, it cannot move through the closed. You've stayed open, and that openness is now attracting divine convergence. Between now and December 2nd, heaven asks one thing: stay sensitive. You may sense sudden waves of peace. See repeated numbers. Hear words in prayer that sound like echoes of these messages. Don't brush them off. They are confirmations. Every spiritual whisper matters now. And when your spirit feels that inner agreement, I want you to perform a simple act of faith. Comment below the number 3. Not as superstition, but as a prophetic signal. When you write that number, you're declaring, I'm stepping into divine completion. You are marking your participation in what heaven has already written. The number itself is symbolic. It represents resurrection, fullness, and the closing of a cycle that once kept you bound. You may wonder why small actions like this matter. It's because spiritual principles often manifest through physical obedience. The same way Moses lifted his staff, or Naaman dipped 7 times, or Joshua walked around the walls. Faith always requires a visible sign. The number you type becomes your declaration, your amen in digital form. Heaven watches agreement more than emotion. When you type that 3, you are testifying that you believe in God's ability to complete what He began. You are saying, "My waiting season ends in resurrection." Heaven sees that. Angels respond to obedience more than words. This act may seem small, but obedience always moves the unseen. You are not only preparing for December 2nd, you are aligning for the days beyond it. Completion doesn't end at fulfillment, it begins new responsibility. When heaven crowns you, it also commissions you. The number 3 does not symbolize rest alone, it symbolizes readiness. Resurrection demands stewardship. Chosen one, let this truth settle deeply. You are moving from fragments into fullness. You will no longer live in halves, half joy, half peace, half faith. The completion coming to you will touch every area: mind, heart, and purpose. The confusion will clear, the cycles will break, and the call that once felt heavy will finally feel holy. And when that moment comes, when peace replaces striving, you'll remember this night, this word, this number. You'll realize heaven had been preparing you not just to receive a promise, but to become one. Comment 3 and let heaven mark your obedience. Chosen one. The weight of delay is something only the chosen truly understand. Others call it waiting, but you know it feels like standing on sacred ground between promise and fulfillment. You can see what's coming, yet you can't touch it. You can sense heaven's movement, yet life around you looks motionless. That tension, holy and painful, is what heaven calls the cost of delay. God's promises are never empty, but they require participation. Obedience is the bridge between prophecy and manifestation. When you delay obedience, you do not cancel the promise, but you postpone its arrival. Heaven waits for your alignment before releasing your advancement. Every moment you hesitate, destiny pauses with you. Many people misunderstand delay they think it's punishment. But in truth, delay is a mirror. It shows you where faith still needs to mature. Heaven never withholds to be cruel. It withholds to complete. When you ask for rain but still stand indoors, you miss the blessing not because God ignored you, but because you weren't positioned where the rain was falling. That's what happens when we ignore divine instruction. The blessing isn't removed, it simply flows elsewhere. To those who are ready to catch it, heaven's timing is never late, but our obedience often is. Think of Jonah. He delayed obedience because of fear and pride, and it cost him peace, direction, and time. Yet God, in mercy, redirected him back to purpose. Delay doesn't disqualify you, but it does detour you. And sometimes, those detours are long. Heaven's intention is for you to learn quickly so you can move swiftly, not wander endlessly. You have felt this in your own life. Moments when opportunities seem to slip through your fingers. Times when connections faded just before something great could happen. The enemy wants you to believe you are unlucky, forgotten, or cursed. But heaven reveals the truth. Many of those missed moments were the fruit of delayed obedience. Not because you were rebellious, but because you hesitated. Fear whispered louder than faith for a moment, and heaven paused. Delay is costly because time is sacred. Every instruction from God comes with a window of grace. When the window closes, the effort multiplies. What could have been easy through obedience becomes heavy through resistance. That is why heaven sends warnings not to frighten you, but to protect you from unnecessary loss. The Spirit reminds you through the words of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22. To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. This verse cuts straight through pretense. Heaven is not moved by how much you do. It's moved by how quickly you obey. Sacrifice without submission is noise. Obedience without delay is worship. When God gives instruction, He's not testing your knowledge, He's testing your trust. Will you move even when you don't understand the reason? Will you release what feels safe when He calls you into the unknown? Heaven hides blessings behind obedience because it's the only gate the enemy cannot counterfeit. You can fake emotion. You cannot fake surrender. This is why the cost of delay feels heavy. It exposes how attached we are to control. Every time we hesitate, it's because part of us still believes we can manage outcomes better than God can. But the truth is, delay drains what disobedience destroys. Every postponed step bleeds time, focus, and favor. Yet even now, mercy whispers it's not too late. If you have hesitated, repent, not with guilt but with gratitude. Heaven allows conviction because there's still time to turn. Delay becomes dangerous only when you stop listening. You are not too far gone. The calendar hasn't canceled your calling. The God who called you knows how to redeem lost time. There is restoration in obedience. When you move at God's command, no matter how much time seems wasted, He has the power to accelerate. What you thought would take years can unfold in days. Heaven doesn't need more time. It only needs your agreement. Chosen one. Let this truth settle deeply. Obedience is not always convenient, but it is always correct. The path of obedience may lead you through discomfort, but it never leads you to destruction. You might lose temporary comfort, but you gain eternal alignment. Look back at the delays in your life not with shame, but with revelation. See how every setback taught you discernment, how every postponement stripped away pride, how every waiting season deepened your wisdom. Heaven wastes nothing, not even delay. Now, as December 2nd approaches, the Spirit calls you to walk quickly when instruction comes. Do not debate with destiny. When heaven speaks, your response determines what unfolds next. Move without hesitation. Trust without question. Step forward even if you see no bridge beneath your feet. Because the greatest loss is not failure, it's forfeited timing. And you, chosen one, have waited long enough. Heaven has sounded the trumpet. The pause is over. The gate is open. It's time to obey. Chosen one, you have felt it, the unease, the tension, the invisible pressure that seems to linger even when life looks calm on the surface. You've asked yourself, why does my spirit feel heavy when nothing seems wrong? That is not anxiety. That is discernment. The spiritual atmosphere is shifting, and heaven is alerting you through your body, your emotions, and your dreams. You are not imagining the weight, you are sensing the war. In every era of divine change, the chosen experience turbulence before transition. The closer heaven draws to releasing what was promised, the more violently the unseen realm responds. That's why you've been waking up exhausted though you've slept, feeling sudden waves of sadness, sensing isolation when surrounded by people, or fighting headaches that no doctor can explain. These are not coincidences, they are signals. Your spirit is standing between realms, feeling both the resistance of darkness and the pull of light. Heaven is teaching you to recognize the difference between a natural problem and a spiritual signal. Natural problems can be fixed by effort. Spiritual ones can only be resolved by awareness and alignment. The discomfort you're feeling is not punishment, it's preparation. The turbulence means the portal of breakthrough is near. You see, when an airplane climbs higher, the air pressure changes and the craft begins to shake. Yet no pilot turns back because of turbulence. They know it's a sign they're breaking through to a new altitude. That's what's happening to you. The pressure around you is not meant to crush you. It's meant to prove that you're ascending. The atmosphere of your life is thinning because you're leaving behind what can't survive where you're going. The symptoms of spiritual warfare manifest differently in each person, but they share one purpose: to distract you from discernment. The enemy wants you to label what's spiritual as emotional, what's divine as coincidence, what's warfare as weakness. But heaven is pulling back the veil so you can see clearly what's really happening. If your relationships have grown tense without reason, if your finances feel stuck despite your effort, if your creativity has dried up, it's not random. The enemy attacks where purpose is most active. The closer you get to destiny, the more he tries to drain your focus. But here's the truth: he can only exhaust those who fight with flesh. When you shift from striving to spiritual stillness, his strategy collapses. We are reminded of this through the writings of Paul in Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. These ancient words still cut through the fog of confusion. What you're facing is not about people, it's about purpose. The argument, the disappointment, the rejection, they are shadows cast by an unseen conflict. Once you understand this, your response changes. You stop fighting individuals and start addressing atmospheres. You stop blaming yourself and start binding the true source. Spiritual warfare is not about shouting louder, it's about seeing clearer. Once you name the real battle, its power weakens. That is why your discernment is under attack, because awareness is your greatest weapon. The enemy thrives in darkness, but when you bring truth into the light, his grip loosens. Heaven is sharpening your senses now, training you to feel the difference between divine instruction and demonic interference. You are being upgraded spiritually, learning to navigate the unseen with confidence. Do not mistake weariness for defeat. Fatigue in battle is not failure, it's a signal that you are actively advancing. The enemy doesn't waste ammunition on the inactive. If you are feeling stretched, it's because you're significant. Hell invests its energy where heaven invests its promise. Remember, these storms are not sent to stop you, but to reveal your strength. When winds rise, it's not a sign of danger. It's a sign of movement. The turbulence proves the plane is in motion. Likewise, your current shaking means heaven has already launched you into transition. Stay the course. In the quiet of night, when your mind feels clouded and your chest feels tight, whisper these words: "This is spiritual, not personal." Then breathe. That simple awareness will shift the battle. Because once your perception changes, your position stabilizes. The coming days may feel heavy, but that weight will break into clarity. The confusion will fade as revelation floods in. You will begin to recognize patterns in your life that were never random. People who left will suddenly make sense. Doors that closed will now appear merciful. The turbulence will end not because the battle disappeared, but because you have learned to soar above it. And when that peace finally settles, you'll understand that the warfare was not a punishment, it was a promotion. Heaven was not testing your strength, it was training your sight. You are no longer the same. You have learned to feel the spiritual before it manifests in the natural. That's what makes you dangerous to darkness now. Chosen one. Breathe deep. The shaking means you are climbing. Don't fear the turbulence, embrace it. Heaven is elevating you. Chosen one. When heaven grows quiet, many mistake it for abandonment. But silence in the kingdom is never absence. It is divine restraint. When God stops speaking, it is not because He has left you. It is because He has already said enough for you to walk by faith. Heaven does not waste words. When revelation pauses, it is because action must begin. There comes a moment in every divine journey when the teacher stops explaining and allows the student to apply what was taught. You are in that sacred classroom now. The silence surrounding you is not punishment, it's a test of perception. Can you still believe without constant reminders? Can you still obey without emotional confirmation? Faith matures in silence. You have prayed, cried, worshipped, and waited. And lately it feels as if heaven closed its mouth. You read scripture and feel nothing. You kneel to pray and sense no movement. But listen closely, this is the moment just before manifestation. When God stops talking, He starts moving. Silence is not the end of conversation, it's the sound of construction. Do you remember how seeds grow? They do not make noise beneath the soil. Growth happens quietly, hidden from sight, yet full of motion. Likewise, heaven is working behind the veil. The ground of your life may look unchanged, but the roots of purpose are stretching deeper than ever before. Silence is not a void, it's a womb. Something sacred is forming in the dark. This silence is necessary. If God revealed everything now, your heart might rush ahead, or your fear might retreat. So instead, He shields you from premature revelation. Heaven knows that too much light too soon can blind the eyes instead of guiding them. That is why the word often comes in whispers, so that only the listening can understand. We are reminded of this truth through the writings of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 15. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. The prophet's words remind us that silence isn't weakness. It is strength in disguise. Stillness is spiritual strategy. While noise fuels anxiety, quiet births clarity. When you resist the urge to force an answer, you make room for divine alignment. Think about how many times in Scripture God chose silence as His method. Between the Old Testament and the New, 400 years of divine silence passed, yet in that stillness, the Savior was being prepared. Mary carried the promise for months before hearing heaven again. Even Jesus stood silent before His accusers, teaching that some battles require stillness, not speech. Chosen one. Heaven's silence does not mean you've done something wrong. It means you're trusted enough to walk without constant instruction. You have matured to the point where God can be silent and still be secure in your obedience. That is growth. That is favor. Heaven does not remain quiet with the unfaithful, it remains quiet with the prepared. If you're hearing nothing right now, rejoice. It means heaven is shifted from speaking to you to working for you. You are in the building stage, and builders don't talk while laying foundation, they work. Every unanswered prayer, every quiet night, every dry moment in worship, it's the hum of heaven's labor. But I know the silence hurts. It stretches your faith and confronts your fears. You wonder if you missed the instruction, if you should have done more, prayed harder, fasted longer. But beloved, grace has not left you. God is not grading your performance, He is developing your perception. The silence is shaping your spiritual muscles. In moments like this, you must choose trust over terror. Trust that what seems absent is active. Trust that unseen progress is still progress. And when your mind screams for reassurance, remind yourself heaven is still here, even when it whispers nothing. Now, chosen one, pause for a moment and take a breath. Let the stillness around you be the altar where faith burns brighter. And when you're ready, write these words below as your declaration: I still trust. Write it not as a comment for attention, but as a covenant between your faith and your Father. When you type those words, you are telling heaven, even in silence, I believe, even without proof, I obey. That phrase is more than letters on a screen, it's incense before the throne. It releases a fragrance of steadfastness that angels recognize. Your silence is not empty, it is sacred. Heaven's pause is the prelude to heaven's performance. When December 2nd comes, the quiet will break not with thunder, but with clarity. The voice that seemed distant will return, not as a whisper this time, but as confirmation. You endured well. Hold still, beloved. The silence is about to sing. Chosen one, every story written by heaven carries a moment of separation, a holy dividing line between what was and what must now become. December 2nd will be such a line. It will not arrive with chaos or spectacle, but with quiet clarity. Heaven is about to draw distinction between those who heard and those who heeded, between those who merely listened and those who responded. This is the great separation, a moment when obedience and disobedience will no longer look the same. For a long time, the faithful and the fearful have walked side by side, in the same room, at the same altar, sometimes even with the same words on their lips. Yet heaven has been watching posture, not performance. When this divine moment comes, you will not need to compete, to prove, or to explain. The separation will happen naturally, like light distinguishing itself from shadow, like gold revealing its shine after the fire. Do not be alarmed when certain people begin to drift from your life as this hour draws near. Heaven is not punishing you. It is purifying your circle. Some who walked with you could not walk for you. The next season of your purpose requires people who carry oil, not opinions. Love those who leave, but don't chase them. The wind that removes dead leaves also helps the tree survive winter. Many won't understand why you suddenly prefer silence over small talk, prayer over popularity, focus over familiarity. They will say you've changed, and they'll be right. You have. Heaven doesn't anoint what refuses to evolve. You're being transformed quietly. And when this day arrives, the fruit of that transformation will be visible. You will feel lighter, sharper, clearer. As the apostle recorded in Matthew chapter 22, verse 14, many are called, but few are chosen. This verse has echoed for generations, but today it beats like a living heartbeat inside you. The call went out to many, but only those who respond with reverence become the chosen. The difference between called and chosen is not favor, it's follow-through. Heaven calls, but it also watches who keeps walking after the call fades. Chosen one. This is the season where distinction will not be determined by title, platform, or appearance, but by endurance. The real anointed will not need to announce themselves. Their peace will reveal them. The ones who obeyed in obscurity will suddenly shine without striving. The oil of heaven is about to rest on the obedient. When that separation begins, you must guard your heart against pride. Heaven promotes not to elevate ego, but to expand influence for purpose. You are being lifted, not for spotlight, but for service. The crown is not decoration, it is delegation. And as these words reach your spirit, if they stir something deep, I want to invite you gently help keep this light shining. Every word you're hearing is a candle lit in the dark. When you like this message, it's as though you're adding oxygen to the flame. When you share it, you carry that light into someone else's night. There are souls who stand at the edge of surrender, waiting for one spark of hope. Your simple act may become their rescue, if these words speak to you. Subscribe to stay connected, not out of habit, but as a form of spiritual commitment. Each message that follows builds upon this one, layer upon layer, like the steady bricks of a temple being raised. When you remain connected, you help heaven construct something lasting within your spirit. And to those who feel led, consider sowing into this work not as a transaction, but as worship. Donations here are not about money, they are about meaning. Every offering becomes a seed that helps this message reach further, touch deeper, shine brighter. Think of it like water poured on a dry field. What you release returns as multiplied harvest. You are not giving to a person, you are partnering with a purpose. When you give, imagine yourself planting a lamp in the wilderness. Somewhere, someone lost in their own night will see its glow and find the path home. That's what your generosity does. It extends the reach of light. Whether you give much or little, heaven measures the heart behind it, not the number. The smallest ember, when fueled with sincerity, can ignite a forest of faith. Your support, your engagement, your faith, they are all part of the same divine story. We are building an altar, one word, one heart at a time. And as this movement grows, it will not glorify man, it will glorify the one who chose us. So, as the great separation approaches, stay steady, keep your lamp burning. Let your heart remain pure and your obedience immediate. The line is being drawn, not to divide in cruelty, but to reveal in clarity. Heaven is not punishing the unready, it is positioning the willing. When December the 2nd arrives, the air itself will feel different. You'll know it. Some doors will shut, others will swing wide. The humble will rise quietly, the proud will fade gently, and the chosen will finally take their place. You are one of them. Stand firm, shine faithfully, and let heaven finish what it started in you. Chosen one. Obedience is the currency of heaven. Every promise, every prophecy, every blessing that has been spoken over your life is connected to a single key: obedience. It is the one thing that unlocks what prayer alone cannot, what fasting alone cannot, what desire alone cannot. Because obedience is not a feeling, it is faith in motion. It's the bridge between instruction and fulfillment. December the 2nd is not just a date. It is an appointment with divine instruction. You are not being asked to perform grand gestures or complicated rituals. Heaven is far simpler than men make it. You are being called to listen and respond. The assignment hidden in obedience may seem small, but its outcome will be immeasurable. Heaven often disguises destiny in simplicity to see who will recognize it. Think about it, Naaman almost missed his healing because the instruction was too plain. Go and wash 7 times, the prophet said. He expected something dramatic, but the miracle was wrapped in the ordinary. The same is true for you. God's next direction may come as a whisper, a thought, a nudge in your spirit that seems insignificant. Yet in that tiny act of obedience lies the key to your next season. Heaven measures hearts through response. Your reaction to instruction reveals your readiness for increase. When God asks you to forgive someone who hasn't apologized, it's not just about reconciliation, it's about making room for promotion. When He calls you to rest when everyone else is striving, it's not laziness, it's training for trust. When He tells you to release something precious, it's not loss, it's sowing. As was written in Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 19. If you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. This scripture is more than promise, it's principle. Willingness is the open door, obedience is the step through it. Many people are willing but never move. Heaven rewards motion, not mere intention. Chosen one. Think of obedience like the wind that fills a sail. The ship can be beautifully built, its anchor strong, its design flawless, but until the sail catches wind, it will never move. Your obedience is that sail. The Spirit of God is the wind. Heaven cannot steer a vessel that refuses to raise its sail. Obedience is rarely convenient. It often collides with comfort. It asks for surrender in moments when logic demands control. That's because obedience is meant to realign your heart with heaven's rhythm. Every yes you give God rewrites something in the unseen. Each act of obedience is a vote for your destiny over your doubt. You may not see the results instantly. Obedience doesn't always produce visible fruit overnight. Sometimes it plants seeds that will bloom in another season. Abraham didn't see the full manifestation of his obedience in his lifetime, yet his faith set generations in motion. Heaven's reward is not always immediate, but it is always inevitable. Perhaps right now, you sense a divine prompting, something you've been delaying. Maybe it's a conversation you need to have, a step you need to take, a habit you need to end, or a risk you need to embrace. That hesitation you feel is not confusion. It's the collision between spirit and fear. The moment you obey, the fear will break. Obedience chases darkness away because it creates movement, and movement terrifies stagnation. Sometimes obedience will cost you visibility. It may lead you into a season where no one notices your faithfulness, where your progress is invisible to the world. But remember, heaven promotes privately before it reveals publicly. Your unseen obedience is preparing a visible reward. Don't rush to be seen. Be ready to be sent. There will always be voices that try to reason you out of obedience logic, comfort, pride, even the opinions of those who love you. But divine instruction is not for debate, it's for direction. The more you argue with it, the longer you delay destiny. Heaven is not trying to control you, it's trying to protect you from walking blind into consequence. The assignment that rests upon December 2nd will require courage. It may not make sense to anyone else. You may not even fully understand it until after you obey. But when you do, something will shift. Obedience always changes the atmosphere. It rearranges outcomes, realigns timing, and releases what has been locked. And when that moment comes, when you finally act on what God whispers, you'll feel it, a quiet peace that sits deeper than emotion. That peace will confirm that you've stepped into the flow of heaven. The tension will ease, the confusion will fade, and the path will open where there once was none. Chosen one. Heaven is waiting, not impatiently but expectantly. The instruction is already written, the outcome is already prepared. All that remains is your step. When you move, heaven will move with you. When you act, angels will align. When you obey, the impossible will bow. Do not hesitate when your spirit hears the signal. Remember, obedience is not the end of faith, it is the evidence of it. And this time, when you say yes, heaven will answer immediately. Chosen one, there are moments when heaven doesn't just speak, it instructs you to move. December 2nd is not only about hearing, it is about responding. The season of revelation is turning into the season of activation. Heaven is calling you to act prophetically, to demonstrate faith in motion. Words must now become deeds. There is a sacred principle hidden in this hour. Every great outpouring begins with a sign of agreement. When the Spirit descended in the upper room, it was not just because they prayed, it was because they were in one accord. Heaven responds to unity, especially the unity between faith and action. The door that leads to your next level will not open to observation, it opens to participation. This is why heaven is asking for a visible response. A prophetic act may seem small in the natural, but it shifts atmospheres in the spiritual. Every time you move in faith, you give heaven legal permission to invade your reality. When you lift your hands in prayer, when you declare a word out loud, when you type a number in obedience, these are not empty gestures. They are codes of alignment written in motion. The number chosen for this moment is 7. the number of divine completion, covenant, and spiritual perfection. 7 is not coincidence, it is conclusion. God used 6 days to create and the 7th to seal. The pattern has never changed. 7 represents rest after work, reward after warfare, fulfillment after faithfulness. It means the process is reaching its full circle. You have been in the middle of divine tension between promise and proof, between prophecy and performance. But heaven now whispers, "It is finished." This doesn't mean your story ends, it means the waiting part of it does. The completion coming upon your life is not the closing of purpose, but the coronation of persistence. The apostle wrote in the book of James, chapter 2, verse 17, "Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead." This verse is not condemnation, it is invitation. Heaven is saying, show me your belief through your movement. Faith is the electricity. Obedience is the switch. You can hold all the power in the world, but until you flip the switch, the room stays dark. Right now, heaven invites you to take a prophetic step to comment below the number 7, not as ritual, but as recognition. When you write that number, you are declaring, I am stepping into completion. I agree with what heaven has begun. The act may look small, but in the unseen, it becomes thunder. Angels read obedience the way fire reads oxygen. It intensifies their assignment around you. Understand this: prophetic actions are not for show. They are for sealing. When you respond publicly to a divine word, you are anchoring it in time and testimony. Heaven records faith not only in the heart, but in the hands. Every movement you make in faith becomes part of heaven's ledger of remembrance. Chosen one, this number is your amen in motion. By releasing it, you are saying, I choose to complete what I started. I choose to finish my race. I choose alignment. Completion is not comfort, it is courage. It takes bravery to close old doors, to end cycles that no longer serve your destiny, to let go of battles that heaven has already declared finished. The number 7 represents that courage, the divine conclusion to unnecessary struggle. Think of the walls of Jericho. The Israelites marched around the city 7 times. Not because God needed repetition, but because heaven required obedient rhythm. With every step, they were aligning earth's obedience with heaven's order. And on the 7th time, the walls fell not from sound alone, but from sustained surrender. That's what is happening to you. The walls around your purpose, the limitations that kept you in cycles, the invisible ceilings over your life, they are trembling because your obedience has reached its 7th round. Heaven has counted your tears, your trials, your prayers, and your praise. You are standing on the 7th step, the moment before manifestation. And when you comment 7, you are symbolically marching one more time around your Jericho. You are saying, I'm ready to finish what heaven started. You are joining a divine echo that shakes the unseen, declaring that delay is over and destiny has begun. This act is more than interaction, it's intercession. Every time you put your faith into movement, the supernatural accelerates. Heaven notices those who respond in faith, and grace multiplies around them. What felt stuck begins to flow, what felt heavy begins to lift. So let this be your declaration. 7 completion. 7 fulfillment. 7 the end of wandering. The heavens have counted your endurance and found it sufficient. The labor was not wasted, and the silence was not empty. Chosen one, the circle is closing in glory, not in grief. The process is concluding with power, not with loss. The number is not random, it is recognition. Heaven sees your faith, and soon, the world will see its fruit. Type 7 and let heaven seal your season. Chosen one, The battle you have faced lately is not proof of weakness, it is evidence of worth. Hell does not fight what is insignificant. The intensity of your warfare is the measure of your impact. If you have been under pressure, it is because you are standing on sacred ground. The enemy attacks where heaven has invested the most. You are not being targeted because you are fragile. You are being targeted because you are effective. Every chosen vessel must learn the language of warfare. It is not spoken through panic or fear, but through authority and endurance. When darkness rises against you, it is not to stop your story, it is to test your stability. Heaven will not allow a crown to rest on an untested head. You are being trained to carry weight. The warfare surrounding you has felt personal dreams disturbed, peace disrupted, emotions stretched thin. But remember, you are not fighting against people or circumstances. You are confronting systems of resistance that existed before you were born. Generations have carried patterns of pain, cycles of doubt, and strongholds of fear. You were chosen to break them. That is why your struggle feels heavier than others. You are ending what they endured. In the quiet moments when discouragement whispers that it's too much, remind yourself of this truth: God does not allow battles without building something through them. What feels like an attack is often an answer, proof that what you prayed for is being constructed. Warfare is not punishment, it's progress under pressure. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle James in chapter 4, verse 7, "Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." This verse does not tell you to negotiate with darkness or to fear it. It tells you to resist, to stand, to withstand, to remain unshaken. Resistance is not passive, it's powerful. Every time you refuse to quit, you are already winning. Every time you speak light in the face of shadow, you are already conquering. Heaven measures victory differently than earth does. Victory in the spiritual realm is not about the absence of conflict, it's about the presence of endurance. When you keep standing after every hit, when you keep believing after every delay, heaven calls that triumph. The enemy's greatest weapon is discouragement, because it convinces you to surrender before the victory is revealed. Don't hand him what he cannot take. Your warfare has layers. Sometimes it comes through sudden chaos. Other times it comes through slow erosion, a dulling of hope, a quiet fatigue, a spiritual numbness. Those are the most dangerous battles because they do not roar, they whisper. But even in those whispers, you can hear heaven say, "Keep going." The silence of heaven is never the same as the absence of help. Remember David. Before he became king, he faced lions, bears, and finally a giant. Each battle looked different but served the same purpose: to strengthen his swing, sharpen his aim, and stretch his confidence in God. You are walking through your own progression of battles. The small victories you won months ago were not random. They were rehearsals for the confrontation you're facing now. Heaven trusts you with this warfare because it knows what you carry. You were built for it. That is why, even when you thought you couldn't survive another storm, you did. Every attack that was meant to destroy you only deepened your roots. You have become what the enemy fears most: a believer who cannot be broken. And now, in this final stretch toward December 2nd, the battle may intensify again, not because you're failing, but because the finish line is near. Every marathon hurts most in the last mile. The pressure you feel is not an omen of defeat, it's the final resistance before release. The closer heaven gets to delivering what it promised, the louder hell gets in desperation. But here is your secret weapon: peace. Not the fragile peace that depends on calm surroundings, but the supernatural peace that stands tall in chaos. Peace confuses the enemy because it shows that fear no longer governs you. When you stay calm in the storm, Hell loses its strategy. Chosen one, this battle will not last forever. The storm you're in is not eternal, it's transitional. You are crossing from warfare into witness. Soon, the very ground where you fought will become the testimony you tell. The enemy who mocked you will regret waking you up. Keep your armor on, but your heart soft. Let courage replace complaint. Let prayer replace panic. Stand as one who knows the outcome before the battle ends. Because heaven already declared it, you win. Every sleepless night, every tear shed in silence, every moment you thought you were losing has been written into your victory song. When December 2nd arrives, you'll understand that this warfare was not meant to break you, but to brand you. You will emerge not wounded, but crowned. So lift your head, chosen one. The arrows may fly, but they cannot pierce destiny. The storm may rage, but it cannot drown what heaven has anointed. You are not just surviving this battle, you are defining it. And soon, even your scars will shine. Chosen one. When obedience meets endurance, heaven begins to open. You have been through the shaking, the silence, the warfare, and the testing, and now you are standing at the edge of revelation. What once felt delayed is now aligning. The gates that were shut are creaking open, and the very heavens are bending toward you. You may not hear the sound yet, but in the unseen, the lock has already turned. Heaven opens not when you ask for blessings, but when your life becomes a place where blessings can safely dwell. Every lesson, every tear, every lonely night has been constructing that dwelling. Heaven has been watching your posture more than your prayer. It was never about words. It was about readiness. You have been shaped to handle glory without breaking under its weight. When heaven opens, it does not sprinkle, it pours. Divine favor begins to move through every dry place of your life like rain on cracked ground. You will see areas that once seemed barren begin to bloom. Conversations that went silent will suddenly restart. Doors that stayed locked will swing open, not because of effort, but because of timing. The moment heaven opens, resistance loses authority. But before the flood of favor arrives, heaven tests stewardship. It watches how you treat the small before releasing the great. If you can protect peace in obscurity, you can be trusted with influence and visibility. Many ask for open heavens while their hearts still leak honor. But you, chosen one, have learned to keep reverence even in routine. That is why heaven has chosen to reign where you stand. As written in the book of Malachi, Chapter 3, verse 10, I will open the windows of heaven and pour out for you such blessing that there will not be room enough to receive it. This is not poetic exaggeration, it is divine economy. Heaven never releases what you can measure. It releases what will overflow. The blessing that comes after obedience is not addition, it is multiplication. When heaven opens, it doesn't just bless you. It corrects your atmosphere. It rearranges your relationships, cleans your motives, resets your priorities. You begin to crave purity more than popularity, purpose more than pleasure, silence more than noise. The opening of heaven brings clarity, not chaos. You'll know you've entered it when peace outweighs panic. The air will feel lighter not because your problems vanish, but because your perception shifts. You'll start to notice how things that used to bother you no longer carry power. Offense loses its sting. Rejection loses its echo. That's the fragrance of an open heaven peace where there used to be pressure. Light where there used to be confusion. Chosen one, when heaven opens over your life, everything that belongs to you begins to find its way home. Opportunities that were lost will return. Ideas that seemed gone will resurface. People who carried your missing puzzle pieces will appear at the appointed time. Heaven's flow always restores before it rewards. Do not be surprised if the atmosphere around you feels charged in the coming days. You may sense a quiet stillness in prayer or a weight of presence that makes you tear up without reason. That is not emotion. That is visitation. The nearness of heaven is beginning to rest on you. What was once abstract faith is becoming tangible reality. There is, however, a mystery within every open heaven. It reveals responsibility. The same rain that grows crops can also flood unguarded ground. That is why heaven trusts only the matured with outpouring. You are being trusted because you endured preparation. Heaven knows you will handle what it gives, not hoard it. You will steward blessing as an assignment, not as a possession. When the heavens open, you will notice divine coincidences begin to surround your days. You will arrive at the right place at the right moment. Meet people who hold answers. Hear confirmations in random conversations. This is not luck. It's orchestration. Heaven arranges patterns of perfection around the obedient. And remember, open heavens do not end with you, they flow through you. You become a carrier of what others need. Where you go, peace will follow. When you speak, heaviness will lift. Those near you will feel refreshed and not know why. You will not just receive blessing, you will become it. This is what the shaking was for. This is why the silence lasted. Heaven was not withholding, it was preparing you for stewardship. You are now stepping into the space where prayers become provision, where faith becomes fulfillment, where obedience becomes overflow. Chosen one. We have reached the point of divine decision, the moment when heaven begins to separate crowns from collapses. December the 2nd will not simply reveal what you have been waiting for. It will reveal who you have become in the waiting. Every trial has been leading to this threshold. The weight of obedience and endurance is about to yield its reward. But understand, crowns are not handed out for appearance. They are placed upon those who endured when others retreated. There is something sacred about this kind of recognition. Heaven does not reward titles or noise. It rewards faith that survives the silence. You have been refined, like gold in a furnace, stripped of what was temporary so that what is eternal could shine. Your crown is not made of metal, it's made of moments. Every time you chose prayer over panic, forgiveness over bitterness, patience over pressure, another gem was added to it. This is the distinction of the season. Some will rise, others will fade, not out of punishment, but because purity and purpose cannot walk on the same road with pride and pretense. The separation will be subtle yet unmistakable. Heaven is not exalting favorites, it is revealing foundations. Those who built on truth will stand tall. Those who built on performance will crumble quietly. The Spirit declares through the writings of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11, "Hold fast what you have, that no one may take your crown." This verse is not a warning born of fear, it's an invitation to vigilance. Crowns are not just given, they are guarded. Once heaven places honor upon your head, the weight of humility must keep it balanced. Chosen one, think of your crown like a torch. The brighter it burns, the more it must be tended. Fire brings both warmth and responsibility. The crown you carry will not only distinguish you, it will draw others. Your light will attract both seekers and shadows. Some will come to learn from your glow. Others will try to dim it. But neither praise nor criticism can remove what God Himself has placed upon you. Now, as this word finds you, let it rest gently on your spirit. You've come a long way through darkness, doubt, and divine discipline. You are standing at the edge of Revelation's sunrise. And if this message resonates in your heart, I invite you to help its light travel further. When you like this message, You are not boosting an algorithm, you are affirming your agreement with what heaven is doing. That simple tap is like echoing amen to the voice of God. When you share it, you are extending the flame, allowing another soul, someone weary, unseen, or unsure, to feel its warmth. You never know whose midnight your small action might illuminate. If these words have watered your faith, consider subscribing, not as a follower of content, but as a companion of calling. Each message builds upon the last, forming a map of destiny. Staying connected is not about updates, it's about alignment. Heaven is crafting a sequence, a progression of revelation, and your continued presence ensures you don't miss the next chapter. And for those whose hearts feel led, if this voice has been a lantern in your night, consider donating to sustain it. But do so only if peace accompanies the thought. Giving should never be pressured. It should be prophetic. Think of it not as paying for words, but as pouring oil into a lamp. Every contribution, no matter the size, becomes fuel that keeps the message glowing for others still wandering in shadow. Your generosity becomes a ripple of light. When you release, heaven records. When you give, heaven multiplies. The same way a drop of rain joins the ocean, your seed joins a larger current of divine purpose. And that current always flows back as blessing. Though never in the same form, it may return as opportunity, peace, or unexpected restoration. And yes, I invite you. From a place of sincerity, leave a comment. Write from your heart, not from habit. Perhaps it's gratitude for how far you've come, or a line that resonated deeply. Your words become part of a living testimony wall. When others scroll and read, they may find their reflection in your confession and remember that they are not alone. Your voice carries healing. Don't underestimate its power. Chosen one. This is the hour of crowns and choices. Hold fast. Protect what you've gained. The crown is not just a reward, it's a reminder of who you had to become to wear it. It symbolizes survival, wisdom, and authority born from obedience. As you walk into December's 2nd, you are not merely crossing a date, you are stepping into distinction. So, keep your flame steady, your humility deep, and your gratitude visible. The crown has found its rightful head. Wear it with reverence, and let the world see what obedience, endurance, and unwavering faith truly look like when heaven finally says, "Now, chosen one." After the thunder of fulfillment fades and the dust of breakthrough settles, there comes a strange quiet, the calm after the storm. The miracle arrives, the promise manifests, and suddenly the stillness feels almost unfamiliar. You spent so long surviving the tension that peace itself feels like a new kind of test. This is what happens after the day breaks. Many assume that once the blessing comes, the battle ends. But heaven reveals a deeper truth. Every open door demands discernment to remain open. The aftermath of breakthrough is where true wisdom is proven. God doesn't just want to give you what you prayed for. He wants to teach you how to keep it. The danger after deliverance is complacency. When comfort replaces hunger, purpose begins to drift. That's why heaven often watches silently after victory, observing whether you will worship with the same intensity and blessing as you did in battle. The same faith that pulled you through the waiting must now preserve you in the walking. Consider Israel after they crossed the Red Sea. The waters parted, the enemy drowned, the people sang, and then came the wilderness. Freedom was followed by formation. God wasn't finished with them, He was preparing them for ownership. You are in a similar space now. The storm has cleared, but now comes the shaping. The season of receiving transitions into the season of remaining. Heaven's greatest concern is not that you will lose what you've been given, but that you will forget why you were given it. Every blessing carries an instruction. Every answered prayer carries an assignment. When God entrusts you with something new, peace, position, provision, it is not simply for comfort but for continuation. You are called to steward what was delivered, not simply celebrate it. The Apostle Paul wrote in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest." This verse carries an echo of endurance, a reminder that consistency after victory is just as sacred as courage before it. The harvest is not secured when you receive it, it is secured when you sustain it. Chosen one. Sustaining the blessing means walking differently now. The places that once distracted you cannot have your focus again. The voices that drained your energy cannot re-enter your space. You have seen too much to go back to small thinking. Heaven has crowned you, not to elevate you above others, but to remind you that responsibility is royal. Post-breakthrough seasons are quieter but heavier. You will notice the noise around you subside, not because God has withdrawn, but because He is teaching you stability. Silence after success is not punishment, it is preservation. Heaven gives you space to digest what has happened, to absorb the revelation before assigning the next mission. You may find that friends who celebrated your rise now grow distant. Don't grieve that. The ones who were meant for your warfare may not be meant for your peace. God orchestrates companionship by season. The solitude that follows elevation is often the soil where the next instruction grows. This is also the moment when gratitude becomes your shield. If you forget to give thanks, pride will quietly build its nest in your heart. Gratitude anchors glory so it doesn't drift into arrogance. When you remember who brought you through, heaven keeps pouring. Gratitude is heaven's permission slip for more. Another hidden challenge of this calm is the temptation to interpret stillness as stagnation. After seasons of warfare and movement, peace can feel like pause, but rest is not regression. Still waters are not empty, they are deep. In this quiet, God is fortifying what He built inside you. You are learning how to carry peace without needing noise to prove progress. Pay attention to subtle instructions now. The loud commands are over, whispers will lead you. The Spirit will nudge you toward refinement, how to speak, what to prioritize, what to release. Don't rush this process. The way you move in this stillness will determine how long the open heaven remains. Remember how Jesus often withdrew to solitary places even when crowds begged for His attention. He understood that public miracles required private maintenance. You must now learn that rhythm, revelation followed by retreat, breakthrough followed by balance. Heaven does not want you to burn out under blessing. It wants you to burn steady. The peace that's settling around you is not fragile, it's fortified. It has been tested through trial and proven through endurance. Let it wash over you without guilt. You have fought well. Now you are learning to live well. The aftermath of victory is not a void, it's a new vibration. Heaven is still moving, only now it moves within you. Chosen one, walk quietly but confidently. Guard your atmosphere. Protect your purity. Keep your eyes forward. The journey beyond the daybreak is not about chasing miracles, it's about becoming one. You have been entrusted with light. Let it remain unshaken. Even when the world grows dark again, the storm is behind you. The sky has cleared. Now begins the art of sustaining peace. Chosen one. Every story written by heaven ends not with relief but with revelation. After all that you have endured, the silence, the storms, the testing, the breaking, what remains is not the pain of what you lost, but the proof of what you have become. You are no longer the same. The fire that once frightened you has refined you. The wilderness that once confused you has trained your discernment. The tears that once felt wasted have watered your wisdom. You stand now as one of the marked ones, those whom heaven trusts to carry light into dark places. You may not have realized it, but heaven has been building something within you that cannot be undone. Authority. Not the kind that demands attention, but the quiet kind that shifts atmospheres just by entering a room. The chosen do not need to announce themselves, their presence does the speaking. You are stepping into that reality now. Your authority is born not from title, but from transformation. You have faced what others feared and stood when others scattered. You have wrestled with shadows and refused to surrender. This authority cannot be imitated because it is forged in intimacy. It is the mark of those who have walked with God through contradiction and emerged believing anyway. As written in Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you." These words are not metaphor anymore. They are your mirror. You are no longer waiting for the light. You are carrying it. The rising that heaven spoke about is not happening around you, it is happening in you. You were never meant to blend in. From the beginning, heaven set you apart to stand as a lighthouse for those still trapped in fog. When others lose direction, your life will become a map. When others tremble, your peace will steady them. You will not just speak of faith, you will become its evidence. Chosen one. You must understand this mark you now carry is not for decoration, it is for duty. Heaven places light on those who will use it to lift others. You were refined not only for your redemption, but for the redemption of those connected to your assignment. Every scar on your soul is a doorway for someone else's healing. The pain you survived will now translate into empathy. The rejection you endured will now turn into reach. The marked ones carry both tenderness and strength. You are not immune to emotion, but you are no longer ruled by it. You feel deeply, yet you stand firmly. You know now that faith is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move despite it. You have matured beyond reaction into revelation. And though this transformation is internal, the external world will begin to notice. People will sense peace when you walk in. Conversations will change when you speak. The same individuals who once misunderstood you will now look to you for counsel. You will not need to prove that you have changed. Heaven will confirm it through your fruit. Still, remember this: the mark you carry will make you misunderstood again. Those still clinging to comfort will resist your conviction. Some will label your peace as pride, your clarity as coldness. But do not let that shake you. You are not responsible for how others interpret your growth. You are only responsible for maintaining your grace. Heaven will now entrust you with assignments that seem impossible, doors that open suddenly, conversations that carry weight, opportunities that stretch your faith once more. Do not shrink back. You were shaped for this. The same God who brought you through the valley will walk with you onto the mountain. The same voice that whispered in the dark will now thunder in daylight. And through it all, keep your humility close. Authority without humility becomes arrogance, and heaven never anoints arrogance. Remember how far you've come, how mercy met you when you didn't deserve it, how grace held you when you were tired, how love found you when you felt invisible. Those memories are the oil that will keep your light burning pure. The marked ones are not perfect, they are purified. They know what darkness feels like, which is why they carry light so carefully. You will not boast about your breakthrough. You will quietly embody it. You will not chase recognition. Recognition will find you in its own time. Chosen one, lift your eyes for a moment. Feel the air around you, it has changed. You have changed. What once burdened you now bows to you. You no longer walk as the wounded, you walk as the witness. You are the living proof that divine delay is not denial, that obedience outlasts opposition, and that purpose always outshines pain. Go forward, marked by mercy and molded by grace. The old chapter has closed, and a new one has begun. The light has risen, and it wears your name. Chosen one. This is where the journey pauses, not because it ends, but because your next chapter begins. The words you have walked through were never just sentences, they were steps of transformation. Heaven has spoken, and now you stand awake, aware, and aligned. You have crossed through fire, silence, warfare, and revelation, and now you stand beneath open skies. If this message has stirred something deep inside you, let it not fade into memory. Let your response become part of its legacy. When you like this message, you are simply saying, I receive it. When you share it, you extend its light to someone still searching in the dark. You never know who is scrolling through despair right now, needing a single spark of hope. Your share may be that spark. Leave a comment not for attention, but as testimony to speak from your heart. Write what you felt, what you've learned, or simply a line of gratitude to mark this divine moment. Your words can become the echo someone else needs to keep going. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Stay connected not as a follower of messages, but as a companion in movement. What begins here continues. Heaven is still speaking, and every future word will build upon this foundation. You've come too far to walk away quietly. Let your digital amen, your like, your comment, your share be a declaration that heaven's word did not return void. Together, we carry this light forward, one message, one heart at a time. The journey continues in you. The anointing rests upon you. The story is still unfolding beautifully, powerfully, purposefully.